In this video, we'll discuss about the various elements of OOP. As you all know, object-oriented programming is a programming language in which we give more stress on object rather than functions. Now, object-oriented programming languages like Java, C++, in these programming languages, more stress is given on object rather than functions. So, these object-oriented programming languages, they break down the program into smaller objects, due to which they are easily suitable for making more complex programs, and we are able to troubleshoot these programs in an easy and convenient way. Various object-oriented programming languages like C++, Java, Smalltalk, Visual Basic, and Simula 67 are used. Now, when we talk about object-oriented programming, there are various elements of object-oriented programming, which are object, class, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. These are the various elements of OOP. Let's first of all talk about object. What is an object? An object is a unique entity which has some characteristics and behaviors. Just like we talk about an element, it has certain characteristics and certain behaviors. In chemistry, we talk about matter. Matter is something which can be perceived by the senses, which occupies some space and has certain volume. Similarly, an object is something which has some characteristics and behaviors. So we can say that everything is an object. Like if we talk about a pen has a color, it has a type, whether it is a ballpoint pen or a fountain pen. It has a color, whether it is a golden color or a red color or black color. It has some ink color, red, blue, black. So there are certain characteristics and certain behaviors. So every certain identity which has some characteristics and behaviors is referred to as an object. Now let's talk about the next element, that is class. What is a class? We have certain elements which have some common characteristics and behaviors, and those objects together are known as a class. So we define class as a group of objects which have some common characteristics and behaviors. You'd also like to understand this concept that a class is known as an object factory because the various objects, they are created within the class. Next is encapsulation. The next element, encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation basically refers to the wrapping up of data and the functions together into a single unit called class. Right? Encapsulation is a process of wrapping up data and functions together into a single unit called class. Now, the data and functions, they are combined together to form the single unit called class. Just like we consider an example of a capsule. There are certain medicines which contain certain ingredients, certain components which are packed together within the capsule. So that is an example of encapsulation. Next element is abstraction. Abstraction is basically the act of representing the essential components and hiding the background details. Abstraction is the act of representing the essential components and hiding the background details. So, if we consider it with the example, like if we are going to have a motorbike, We know the external mechanism, we know the external structure, but we are not informed about the internal mechanism. Similarly, for a program, a user gets information about the basic structure of the program, but he does not have any know-how about the internal structure of the program. This makes the program in certain contexts more secure and better. That is, abstraction involves the security of the program. It implements the abstraction which makes the program more secure. Then we have polymorphism. The term polymorphism comprises of two words, poly meaning many and morph means form. Notice the concept of having the same external interface but different internal structures. Polymorphisms, it processes the data differently based on the parameters. We can say the same function name we can use for multiple instances of different set of parameters. That is polymorphism. Then we have inheritance. Inheritance is also one of the important features of object-oriented programming, by which we follow a hierarchical model. It helps in building new classes from previously existing classes. So inheritance is a mechanism in which one class can be linked with another class, a subclass and a superclass. The superclass is a class which is inheriting its features and elements to other subordinates. So inheritance is also an element of OOP which helps and supports object-oriented programming. We'll discuss about the further features of object-oriented programming in the next video. Thank you.